Hi, Suz.
CJ, hi.
How are you?
I'm good. Great to see you.
Good to see you too.
It's just going to be me today because David got whisked away on a last minute bike riding adventure with our kids.
I was
And
I was curious to see who would be here, so I'm glad
at
to see
first,
you.
it was supposed to be him, then it was going to be both of us, and now it's me. So,
I'm glad for your flexibility,
of
and I'm sorry
course,
you're missing the bike adventure.
it's not a problem. Believe me, it's my win to be at home in an empty house and chatting with you.
Well, why don't we jump right in and you tell us who you are, where you are, and what you do.
Great. My name is Suz Slezak, and I play in a band called David Wax Museum that's sort of fronted by my husband, David Wax, and me. We live in Charlottesville, Virginia, so we're here, and that's where I am now. And we have a little kind of an attic room that we've been doing all our live streams from. So that's where I am right now. It's our little attic studio. And I like to call myself an artist instead of a musician because a musician has felt like this little box. Um, because I'm not the type of musician that sits around and like practices my instrument every day and noodles around for hours. I really um, feel drawn to the whole creative enterprise and the fact that we get to connect with so many people through music. So I guess I see music as a vessel of being an artist, um, and not staying in the box of being a musician. Long-winded answer.
Sure. That's okay. Lovely. Um, Before we get into, I do want to touch on your live streams. You guys have been doing those regularly, but first, have you gotten to listen to other people's music at all? Are you um, having a chance to do that as well?
Yeah, I've been trying to tune into our friends' live streams as well, just because when it's someone that you know, it somehow, even on a tiny screen, really makes you feel like you're with them. And so I've been watching our
Mhm.
friends who are in the band Lowland Hum every day at noon. They're doing a little session. So I just prop it up when I'm in the kitchen or washing dishes or cooking or something, and really get that sense that I'm there with them. And that feels really good. And then, yeah, other musician, Anthony DaCosta has been doing some live streams I've been tuning into. But the other cool thing we've been doing is every morning, when we remember, we've been kind of choosing a different part of the world or a different country and trying to just listen to music from that region. And it's so fun to like tap into traditional Hawaiian music or traditional Israeli music, or and I mean we've picked so many places already. It's a really fun activity for
That's a
all of us.
wonderful idea. And are you doing that with the kids too?
Yeah, we'll sort of talk about it with them. But Spotify is such an easy access point for that kind of thing.
That's a great idea. Um, and how are you passing the time otherwise during these circumstances? I know you've been doing regular live streams. If you'd like to talk a little bit about that and whatever else, whatever other creative pursuits you might be able to be doing right now.
Yeah, I feel. Um, let's see, we're touring musicians, and we've done that for over a decade, and so our time at home has always been between tours. Like we don't. I've never unpacked my bathroom bag, my toiletries bag, until last month.
Wow.
Um, it's just always packed because it's always going to go back in the suitcase, and we've never been able to have a garden because we're never home for long enough to water our plants or see them grow. And so for us to have this kind of long stretch of time at home, Virginia is now until June, mid-June, but our next tour isn't technically until August, and we all know that there's so much that's apt to change. So to have these months of kind of knowing that we're here has been this incredible gift to us because there's so much effort, mental and physical um, effort to preparing for a tour, and to have all that energy that usually goes into touring kind of go away. It's like I feel like this kind of surge of energy for creative things. So we have this huge flow chart on our kitchen wall that I put S and D, Suz and David, in the middle, And then I have like 16 different spokes of different projects that we're working on. So we're like remixing our first record, Carpenter Bird. We're working on this new record that we'll be sharing more about soon. I'm working on a book project about kind of dealing with bipolar disorder in my adult life. I'm working on my own solo project. I'm trying to remember the flow chart here. We're doing live streams. We're doing private shows. We are started a Patreon account, which is how people can kind of chip in. It's like a CSA, like everyone chipping in a few bucks a month to help artists kind of sustain, pay their bills, and keep creating new work. I'm thinking about a podcast. David's thinking about a podcast. I mean, we're just sort of brainstorming so much. Meanwhile, we have a 6 and 3-year-old. And so most of our day is kind of juggling, like who's going to be on the kids, who's going to be on which kid, kind of juggling that. And somebody will sneak upstairs, or we'll all be outside in the garden, which has been an incredible, oh my gosh, I just feel addicted to gardening now that I'm able to do it.
It's wonderful. It's been so interesting. This is my 5th Sunday of talking to friends about how they're coping and how they're redirecting energy. And it's such a varied response that I get. Some people feel like their creativity is entirely stifled and they're not able to do anything. And I'm really happy to hear that you're one of the people who is finding that, you know, it's freeing in a way and that you're able to channel that in a positive way. I'm really excited about that.
Thanks. Me too. It's been interesting because I think the first week, let's say, when all our tours were like one by one being canceled, there was definitely, David felt it more seriously than I did, this real, the panic of that, and just kind of the vacuum, like, oh my gosh, all our work is gone. But what it meant was we have all this other work, as the things I just mentioned, that we have been putting off and not ever having time to think about. And so to take up, our flow chart has like 16 spokes, but it used to just have one massive spoke, which was touring. And all the other things was like, water me, like as a plant, it's this one like touring plant that takes over. And so now for that to be gone, just to have that chance to focus on the other things. What else was I going to say about that? I'll come back to it.
Yeah, I was one of the people that had a show scheduled with you. We were supposed to be getting together April 1st, and now it's rescheduled for August, and who knows what'll happen in August.
Great, hopefully, yeah.
So yeah, it's been, that was disheartening at first, but I think once finally just accepted that the whole world has to do this right now, it became a little bit easier than to look at the silver linings and maybe look forward to what it might look like in the future, because I think it'll be very different when we are able to gather together again.
Yeah. So one thing we've been completely astonished by is the support from our community. So we're doing these live streams, and they're of course free. You can tune in on any of the social media platforms, and we've just had places to send in tips. And our community has been incredibly generous, and starting this Patreon subscription thing to kind of support artists. We already have 70 people kind of signed up for that. And I think I always had this joke in the back of my mind, like, oh, we're not like investing a lot of money in our future because we're not making a lot of money for the past decade plus. But I always thought, I really feel like we're kind of investing in community and growing this community. And I really felt confident, like if anything really went down, like our community would be there. And I really feel that. And it's so amazing to feel like we know thousands of people around the world. And lots of people are kind of chipping in a few dollars when they can. And it really adds up to something. And we're able to cover our rent and not feel the panic of all our work being gone, because the community has really stepped up. And I wake up every day like kind of in disbelief about how much support there's been so far.
Yeah, I think that's wonderful. And I think that that's true probably of the music community as a whole, but I think also you and David just exude this community spirit in your music and in your interactions with people. And I'm not surprised to hear that people are stepping up and being the net that catches you, you know, in the ways you need them to right now. I'm excited for that for you.
Thanks.
How are the kids adjusting? Because they're usually on tour with you, and now they get to be home. What are you seeing with them?
Yeah, our 3-year-old doesn't quite get it anyway. It's like either a school day or not a school day, or he's on tour. You know, he doesn't really know. Although he does use the word like the virus. You know, he'll like reference the virus. Our 6-year-old has been in public elementary school and then kindergarten. Then we took her out and homeschooled her on the road. So she had road school for 6 weeks in the fall. And then we put her back in school. And then, of course, when schools were canceled, she's now home. And we're just telling her it's this wonderful, she's like the coolest kid around because she got to do school and road school and homeschool. So we're just sort of adding it to the you know, kind of list of why her life is different from others and not making it into too big of a deal.
Yeah.
And I was homeschooled as a kid. And so the idea of all kind of living a life together and learning comes always. It always comes. And I think that creative, like for kids to just be alone in their room and have to come up with their own creative games, to me, it's like the best learning. And also I feel like that's why I'm so comfortable in this zone of not having anything going on, because I feel like I wasn't trained as a kid that life has to happen to be entertained, or you have to be entertained or your life is in some box. It's always been a little more open-ended. So I feel like I'm able to thrive in that.
Yeah, I think kids are resilient anyway, but I bet your kids are uniquely prepared to roll with the punches here.
Someone was joking, like we play every night and they're like, don't your kids get up when you guys are playing? And we said, no, they're like passed out. They don't care about us playing. They don't want to watch, and they definitely sleep right through it. They have plenty of practice doing that.
You're used to it, yeah. So your live streams have had themes, right? And you've been doing a family-friendly one during the day.
We've done three per week. And at first we thought, oh my gosh, is this overkill? But we're trying to kind of make them all different. And it's just so, you know, when you're on tour, you play every night of the week. So it doesn't feel like too much for us. I just didn't want to like bombard people. But I think because, of course, it's your choice if you tune in or not. So I think it's been really nice to have the regularity of it. So every Tuesday night we do a themed show. So we're doing, so far we've been playing through each record. So we played through all of Carpenter Bird, and then we played through all of Everything Is Saved, and on Tuesday we'll play through Knock Knock Get Up. And that has been so amazing because you see these fans come out of the woodwork, like who have known you since you released those records. And just like all of us have our favorite record of any band. Oh, Everything Is Saved.
This was my gateway David Wax Museum record many years ago.
Did you see the live stream last week?
I did not.
Okay, you can watch. It's all saved. Everything is saved. But it's been, just playing through the records has been so joyful for us, just to play these songs that we don't play that often, and hear people's stories about when they first heard them. And then on Sunday nights, we're doing kind of a chill, romantic, vibey set. And accidentally I said, oh, this Sunday we're going to do all covers. And David afterwards was like, Suz, we can't like prep 10 covers by Sunday. But in fact, we are prepping 10 covers by Sunday. Some of them we've played before, of course, but we were requesting ideas from our fans. And so we've worked up an incredible set. I mean, it's like so many favorite songs by other people. And so we'll be doing that on Sunday night. And on Friday afternoons at 2 is the kids show, or the family-friendly show.
Without revealing any secrets, is there any particular cover song that you're really excited to play this week?
Well, one is what David on our Instagram, I just posted him with his dance moves, and I that song I just think is so beautiful. So that I'm excited.
I did see that. That was very sweet. All right. Well, before we wrap up, could you tell us how we can find out more information about you and what you do, how we can best support you either during this time or moving forward when we come out of this time, whatever you want people to know.
Thanks. I think you'd asked earlier what might be different going forward. And I think that we're realizing that so many people can't come out to a live show for health, for kids, for finances, for distance from the city, for where they live geographically. And so I feel like that the fact that we're creating this show, live stream show, feels like that's never going to stop. I feel like we're always going to want to have some way of bringing the music through. I know it's virtually and through the screens, but I think it's going to get better. I think the sound is going to continue to get better, and we're really working hard on the sound. And I think we're always going to have an element of that as part of our picture here. And that's been really exciting to realize, because touring is just such an exhausting enterprise, and it is such a money dump.
Expensive.
It's just such an investment. But we never come home with money at the end. And we've been doing that for 10 years. And that's fine. I'm not complaining about that at all. Lots of people work really hard and have no money at the end. It's not, we have so much, a rich life, a very rich life. So that's not a complaint, but to realize that we can also come upstairs and have zero expenses and be with our kids at home with a garden, and still have money coming in from that. That'll let us tour more strategically, and I think make each tour feel like it's extremely special. Everyone has to come out, because we're not going to just do it all the time. And I think a lot of musicians are realizing that home is a beautiful place to be. As creative people, we try to make our homes feel creative. And so I think touring is going to change for everyone. We have a brand new Patreon page, which is a way that it's like a community supported agriculture program. So if you, the whole community can chip in a few bucks a month to help artists pay their bills and get kind of exclusive things. We have all kinds of stuff in our archives that are, beautiful old versions of songs, and, showing the process of the songs that you will have access to. That's at patreon.com/DavidWaxMuseum. Just our website, davidwaxmuseum.com, has a donate button. And just please tune into the live streams on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. And just becoming, liking those things helps our numbers, or whatever it is.
Wonderful.
JJ.
I really appreciate you taking the time out of this gorgeous Sunday. I don't know if it's as beautiful where you are as it is where I am today. The sun is finally out. And I'm really excited to be able to have a chance to talk to you and catch up a little bit and hear about how it's going for you. And very glad to hear it's going pretty well.
Thanks, JJ. Thank you for taking the time.
And I hope we'll get to see each other in person before too much time has passed.
I hope so too.
Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Take care.
Thank you so much. Talk to you soon, JJ. Bye, everyone.
Okay. Bye-bye.